Hello everyone, my name is Putri Rizky a student in Master's degree in English Education at Indraprastha University. It is a privilege to have the opportunity to present today on a topic that is both vital and timely in the realm of language education, building speaking confidence in English as a foreign language learners. As we know, the fear of making mistakes often hinders learners from fully expressing themselves and achieving their communicative potential. So, today I will explore the nature of this fear, its impact, and effective strategies to overcome it. Through this presentation, I hope to provide insight and practical approach that educators and learners alike can apply to foster a more confident and engaging language learning environment. There is a 4 points I will explain. Point number one, the ability to speak confidently in EFL is the cornerstone of communicative competence and a vital skill for academic, professional, and social success in a globalized world. Point number two, yet for millions of learners, especially in Southeast Asia and Indonesia, speaking English is fraught with anxiety, self-doubt, and a pervasive fear of making mistakes, all of which can severely impede learners' willingness to participate in oral activities and hinder language acquisition. Then the last is focus and emphasis. My presentation aims to provide a comprehensive academic analysis of the psychological, pedagogical, and linguistic factors contributing to learners' fear of making mistakes when speaking English as a foreign language, especially in Southeast Asia and Indonesia. Then drawing on empirical studies, theoretical frameworks such as Crescent's effective filter hypothesis and Himes' communicative competence, and evidence-based classroom strategies. Theoretical from Krashen, the hypothesis posits that affective factors is anxiety, motivation, and self-confidence. When learners experience high anxiety or low self-confidence, the affective filters become strong, blocking language input from reaching the language acquisition. Conversely, a weak filter characterized by high motivation and confidence, low anxiety allows input to be processed effectively, leading to successful acquisition in Indonesia has shown that students with high anxiety are less likely to participate in speaking activities, avoid risk taking, and may even withdraw from classroom interaction. Tend to underestimate their abilities and avoid verbal activities, further reinforcing the negative cycle of anxiety and poor performance. Delheim's concept of communicative competence expands the notion of language proficiency beyond grammatical accuracy to include sociolinguistic, discourse, and strategic competencies. Then, after that, Canal and Swain further refined this model for identifying four key components. Number one, grammatical competence. Number two, sociolinguistic competence. Three, discourse competence. And the last is strategic competence. In EFL context, communicative competence is essential for learners to navigate real-life situations, express themselves appropriately, and compensate for gaps in linguistic knowledge. Psychological factors have 4 points in it. First is communication apprehension, refers to the fear or anxiety associated with real or anticipate communication with others. Second is test anxiety, is the fear of failure and making mistakes in evaluative situations such as oral exams or classroom presentation. Third is fear of negative evaluation. It involves apprehension about being judged or criticized by others, including teachers and peers. The last is perfectionism and self esteem. Perfectionism, the belief that one must speak flawlessly, can intensify anxiety and fear of mistakes. In pedagogical factors and classroom environment, there is a 3 point in it. First is teachers' behavior and feedback. Supportive, caring teachers who provide positive reinforcement, encouragement, and constructive feedback can reduce anxiety and build confidence of the students. Second is error correction approaches. Immediate, explicit correction during speaking activities may cause embarrassment and inhibit fluency, especially among beginners. And the last is classroom activities and group dynamics. Classroom activities that promote collaboration, peer interaction, and authentic communication, such as role play, group discussion, and project based learning, can mitigate anxiety and encourage participation. For the linguistic factors, there is a 2 point in it. The first is proficiency, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Limited proficiency, vocabulary gaps, and pronunciation difficulties are major sources of speaking anxiety. In Indonesia, studies have shown that lack of vocabulary is the dominant factor undermining speaking confidence. Then, The last is fluency and comprehension. Difficulty in understanding spoken English, especially in fast paced or technical contexts, can contribute to anxiety and hinder participation. Sociocultural factors in Southeast Asia and Indonesia, there is a 3 point in it. The first is cultural norms and communication styles. Southeast Asian and Indonesian learners often come from cultures that value modesty, group harmony, and avoidance of public embarrassment. For example, students may be reluctant to speak up in class, challenge authority, or volunteer answer for fear or losing face or disrupting group harmony. Second is language environment and exposure. In Indonesia, English is primarily learned in formal classroom settings only, then with limited opportunities for authentic communication outside of school. Then the last is gender and years of study. Empirical studies indicate that female learners in Indonesia tend to experience higher levels of speaking anxiety than males, particularly in relation to fear of negative evaluation. Additionally, anxiety levels decrease with increased years of English study, highlighting the importance of sustained practice and exposure. From the explanation of the causes of fear, we got the empirical evidence in Southeast Asia and Indonesia. Moderate to high speaking anxiety among EFL learners, test anxiety is most dominant, anxiety decreases with years of study, female learners often more anxious, limited extramural English exposure. The strategies to build confidence, evidence based approaches, creating a supportive classroom environment. We can give a positive feedback and praise, and also tolerance for mistakes and collaborative learning. For the evidence based classroom activities, we can make a role play and simulation, peer group activities, and also the extramural English exposure. What is extramural English exposure? The student can learn English through music, movies, social media, gaming, and also online. Error correction and feedback approaches is like constructive and timely feedback and differentiated feedback based on proficiency. Then the next is technology integration. It's kind of like digital platforms and online communities, also flipped classroom and mindfulness training. And for the assessment and measuring speaking anxiety and confidence, we have a 3 point. The first is standardized scales. Instruments such as the Foreign Language Classroom Anxiety Scale, or we call it FLCAS, English Speaking Anxiety Scale, ESAS, and Second Language Speaking Anxiety Scale, SLSAS, are widely used to assess anxiety levels and monitor changes over time. Second is dynamic assessment and self reflection. And third is intervention studies and program evaluations. Here is designing activities to build confidence for the student. Begin each lesson with informal conversation to reduce tension and encourage participation. Use structured role play scenarios to practice real life communication in a safe environment. Organize collaborative tasks that promote mutual support, feedback, and shared responsibility. Encourage learners to engage with English outside the classroom through music, movies, social media, and online communities. Use fun exercises such as tongue twisters and pronunciation games to improve clarity and reduce anxiety. Provide feedback that focuses on improvement and effort rather than perfection. And use online speaking platforms for helping or digital extramural activities. These are some ways to improve the quality of the teachers so the teachers can teach their students more way better. Professional development in anxiety reducing strategies, policies prioritizing communicative competence, support for technology and extramural English, and regular assessment and differentiate support. Referring the explanation, here are some concluding points that can be formulated. Speaking confidence is shaped by multiple factors. Fear of mistakes is a major barrier. Evidence based strategies can reduce anxiety and build confidence. Teachers and policymakers must foster supportive, communicative, and technology rich environments. Then, with all of that, we can empower learners to communicate confidently and succeed. That brings us to the end of my presentation. I hope this discussion has highlighted the importance of building speaking confidence in EFL, not just a theoretical concept, but as a practical guide for responsible communication. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.